Hey there YouTubers, this is Dan Strong with Excel VBA is Fun. Thanks for tuning in. Today we're going to take on an interesting project that may help some of you. Multiple steps, maybe even a couple of videos, I don't know. Anyway, this gentleman is wanting to, he's got a form here that pops up. Let me close this and bring up the workbook again. Whenever the workbook opens, it brings up this form right here. So you could type in the landowner's name, the date, how many acres, and select the township, and select the county that you're looking in. And whenever you click submit, what he wants it to do is to find the appropriate worksheet, and there's like 30 worksheets, and it will put the landowner's name here, date, sign, acre, blah blah blah, and then as well as instead of just having an easement number that's just 0001 and then the next one would be 0002, no, it's got to be a little more interesting than that. It's going to be like, it would have the letter M for the county, and then it would have the first 3 letters of the township, so it would be M-A-U-B, all capitals, and then 0001, or then the next one would be M-A-U-B. But then if you, of course, if you had one in the county of Muskingum, it would be M-B-E-T-0-0-0-1 on that worksheet. So this is going to be an interesting project. I want to show you the first way that I would start off. And actually, I would like to start off by saying, Chad, I think his name was, that really, if I was going to start making a database like this, I would probably just put it all in the same sheet and not have all these separate worksheets. If you really wanted to narrow down something for some reason, if you wanted to report, either design a report or simply go to data ribbon and click filter, and then just filter whatever township or county that you want to see, or both, or even do a pivot table, rather than going through all this trouble. But hey, you know what? There might be more than one reason why you need to do it this way. So it is what it is. Let's go ahead and get started, shall we? Hit Alt F11. The first thing I'd like to do is create a module. In my last video, we created a procedure that you could take loop through all the worksheets, and we want to loop. I'm not gonna get too elaborate here, but I'm just going to do the same thing as I did in the last video. We're going to do a for each loop for each worksheet in this workbook .sheets, and with each worksheet in the workbook, we're going to say debug.print the worksheet.name. So the worksheet's name, I want it to print each one on each progressive line here. So let's just do that. I want to see that hit F5. We have all the worksheet names here. Control C to copy. Just going to paste them here. Okay. I want to see all the sheet names except for the start and the data sheet. These are all the sheets that we should be concerned with. And why that's important is some of these counties or townships, some of these townships have the same, like the county is the same county for a couple of them, or vice versa. I'm not really sure. Like, yeah, Coshocton is a county that has a bunch of these, but then there's also Alright, well, let's just take it apart. Let's go to the data ribbon. We're already there. Let's click on text to columns. This is pretty cool. We're going to use delimited, and we're going to delimit them by the hyphens that are there conveniently enough. So I put a hyphen there, and you see that it's using that as a delimiter or a separator. And if I click next, or I'll just click finish. So it separated them by the hyphen as a separator. Pretty cool, right? So let's go ahead and sort this list here. Oops. We're going to click sort, and we're going to sort that by column D, which is the townships, I guess. So I just want to see if there's any duplicates, and sure enough, Clark is a township that is shared by the county Coshocton and Holmes. There's a couple other, so Oxford, Jefferson, so, and then Jackson Township. So that being said, we might want to make like a VLOOKUP table based on that. So okay, so actually I want to put the counties over here just because I do. And I want to move these over into their own little table here on the data sheet. And we're going to say county, and yes, I am going to sort this in a second. Township. And then this will be the combined, we'll concatenate these using a little joiner here. This will be the worksheet name, which we can generate again. Let's see. So I want to sort this list by the county. So sort by, now what is column D? My data does have headers. So yeah, county, and hit OK. Alright, so now we got something to work with. Let's click here on worksheet equals this ampersand, use a hyphen in quotes, ampersand to join that to this, and we'll copy that down. And hit enter. Now I'm going to copy it down. So that's our worksheet name by just via the pattern that we've already established. In fact, I'll solidify that, Control C, and right click SV or special paste and by values, SV. So now you see that they're not formulas, they're actual values. So that's pretty cool. Alright. So now, why did I do that? Because I want to, whenever that form loads, let's go to the form here. Whenever this loads, you see that the township contains every single township and the county. Now, you can do that, but I think that if I were designing it, I would probably have it to whenever you click on a certain county, it would run a macro to load only the townships that were associated with that county. So that way there weren't any data entry errors. Just a thought. So I'm going to go ahead and rig that up because this is my show and that's what I would do, so why not? Let's rock and roll, shall we? Okay. So we're going to do a click event here, or a change event, I guess, on this. And that would change the township loading. So let's do that. Whenever the county is changed, so when the county is changed, okay, we're going to say load the township combo box. And we'll probably do that in another macro. Get townships. Okay, so we're going to call get townships, which is right next door, but we're going to call on that, and then we're going to design it here. So, dim D sheet, which is our data sheet, as a worksheet, set D sheet equals this workbook dot sheets, and it's called data. Alright. Now what is the column that we're needing? We're needing to go to column E, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So TN equals 5, and no, oops, yeah, and county equals 4. Just to label my columns here. And then our last row, DLR, is going to be equal to dsheet.cells rows.count, whoops, not column 1, column CTY, which is column 4, dot end xl up dot row. So that's our last row, and it will be right here until that changes. So it'd be row 40. Alright, that's our last row. What are we going to do now with this? So based on whichever county we have right now, so we'll say the current county equals me.cmb county. So that way we're establishing what it needs, or what is our current county, and then we'll compare that. So we'll say for x equals row 2 to DLR, to our last row, which is right now is 40, and then we'll say next x. So here's where we do our loop. Let me zoom in here. If current county is equal to dsheet.cells cty, that's row row x, column cty, which is column 4. If that's equal, then, and we want to add to the township. I can't spell today. So, and first of all, let's go backtrack a little bit. We want to clear township combo box, so we're going to say me.cmb township.clear. So each time this macro runs, it'll clear it, and then it'll rerun with a fresh batch from that county. And here's what we're going to do. If the current county is the county on that current row that we're looping through, then we're going to say me.cmb township.add item space, and what item is that going to be? It is going to be dsheet.cells x comma cty, or excuse me, x comma tn, which is the township row, which is, so it would be the current row, and then the column of 5, which is the township column. Okay, then we're going to say end if. Simple as that. Let's see if it worked. I mean, maybe it worked. Who knows? So let's see. Right now, by default, the township is already filled out. So, but let's click on Koshokten. It just ran my code. It did not run my code, or maybe it did. Let's do the homes. I know there's only like 2. No, there's 3 townships. Okay, so that's pretty cool. Muskingum. Here's the only Jackson Township. Okay. Tuscarawas. Well, that's a problem, isn't it? Tuscarawas should bring several results. Homes. That worked. Tuscarawas. Okay. So now we debug, don't we? Yes, let's do it. Let's put it right here. Let's go to Tuscarawas. So, last row is 40. That's what I thought. The current county is Tuscarawas. And the township is now cleared out. If current county is, it's not. Let's see. Going all the way to 40. What row are we on? 7. We need to go to row 30 to even see the first one. So, holding down my F8 key here. 21. Okay, we're getting there. And 29. Here we go. So, current county should equal what's on the TUSCURAWAS. TUSCARAWAS. Okay, well, I'm not sure which one's correct, but I'm just gonna change it to one or the other because it's a misspelling is the reason it's not loading correctly. Okay, so our code was flawless. Goody goody gumdrops. Let's change the let's change it here just for fun. Tuscuraras instead of Tuscararos, and it should work. So let's bring that form back up. It's just, you know, it's life. You know, there's typos. It's whatever. Don't worry about it. So I'm going to undo that little stopper. And we should have, okay, so we have our Tuscarawas townships. And then, of course, I might change the county to be in right here and then put the township down there. But that's just a preference thing. So let's see what's the next step on our agenda. I believe we're actually, we need to figure out, once this is selected, and then we select the township, we need that to generate a label or something, or just at least in the code, that would bring up our code, our number. So we need to find the last number in that worksheet, and then we actually, first we need to figure out what worksheet we're about to assign the macro to, rather than doing a never-ending if-then. If this is that, and this is that, then go to this sheet. If this is this, and this is this, then go to the next sheet. Not preferable, especially if you're going to add on to this. You may not, but let me show you what I would do. So we're going to go ahead and save our progress, because we don't want to lose that. What I'm wanting to do is eventually do like some kind of VLOOKUP or a loop that would figure out the worksheet name based off of this. So yeah, we can actually do that right now. Yes, this will be fun. And the same loop, we can even like copy off of that. That was, I'm going to double click on county, and using some of the code that we just set into play with the get townships thing. I'm actually going to steal most of that. That's good stuff. Control C to copy. And then we're going to run a new one. We're going to call the macro, call it forth, you know, summon the macro that is non-existent. How about get worksheet name? Okay, and then we'll make one right here called sub, you guessed it, get worksheet name. And then we're going to design that right now. Control V. So it's not going to be exactly the same. So that's assuming that they're both not blank, which they probably will be blank right now actually, but we'll use this later. So how about this? If me.cmb county equals blank and me.cmb township equals blank, then exit sub. Just stop right there. So, but you know, if it's not empty, then go ahead and go forth. So let's go to our form. We're going to make a label that we can make invisible or visible, depending on what we feel like doing. And let's put it in easement results, just for fun. This label, I'm going to blank out for right now. And we're going to name it LBL. That means label, just for me to keep track. We're going to name it LBL worksheet name, WKS name. And that will help me tremendously with my code, because I'll just steal it off of this label directly. Okay. So now we're going to go back to, where was that? Get worksheet name. Here we go. So, if they're both, yeah. Actually, I'm going to put a call get worksheet name on both of them. So if township was clicked on or changed, or if county was changed, then either way we're going to call this. So let's go ahead and work on that macro really quick. I'm going to hit F5 and I'm going to change the county, and they're both blanks, or not, they're not both blank, but one of them is blank. So oh, I should have said or. Whoops. If this is blank or that's blank, then exit the sub. They need to both be fulfilled before we need to worry about getting the worksheet name. So we exited that. Now let's select a township, and we really, here's where we need to run it. Okay, so we're going to run get worksheet name, and here we are. We're ready to go. Okay. So we need to not only get the current county, we need to get the current township. Current township is equal to, of course, me.cmb township. And now we're good to go on that. We are not going to clear the township out because this macro is different than the other one. We're just going to do some comparing. So we are going to go through this loop. So if current county equals the county on that row, and current tn equals dsheet.cells, comma x, and tn, so if the current township equals the township right there, Adams, so right now they're not the same, so skip over it. So if those conditions are met, then me.lbl, there's our label worksheet name, equals, and then we're going to say dsheet.cells x, comma, well, I haven't labeled anything, but let's just say 6, because it's on column 6. Now it's a little sloppy. We could go up here and do that, but so let's see. I'm going to put a stopper right here, and I'm going to hit F5 and see if it stops somewhere. It did. So current county Coshocton is Coshocton, and current Bedford is Bedford, and it looks like that's on row 3. Interesting. So we found it. So the worksheet name is going to be Coshocton-Bedford, which they found on column 6 of row 3, which let's take a look. Row 3, Coshocton, Bedford, and then the worksheet was on the next column. Hey, that's going to be the worksheet name. So let's hit, and then of course let's just exit sub, or go to ending if you want to put a label there that says ending. So once we found that label, we can exit this little procedure because we're good to go. So let's make that label there and exit the sub. And let's take a look at our form now, huh? There is the worksheet name that we need. The battle is more than halfway over, you guys. Okay, so let's make a... Actually, I'm going to move that label a little bit. Let's just, we can put it here, and it doesn't have to be that big, and in fact it doesn't even have to be visible to the naked eye. We can make visible false right here, and so it won't even show up. It'll still maintain the value though, it'll just be hidden. I'm going to save everything so far. Let's work on the button after you submit the easement. And actually we need another label probably. I'm going to Control C, Control V. Let's make another label. This label is going to be called LBL sequence name or something like that. And that was for the sequence, as I told you on this sheet, the Salem to Skurawas. The easement number might be, I don't know, I think it's S, no, it might be T, and then SAL, and then 0001. Or it might be STUS, I don't remember, let me look. So yeah, the county is going to be the first letter, and then the township is going to be the next 3 letters, and it's all capitals. And then it would have 0001 or 0002 or whatever. So we'll work on some kind of loop that will do that. Again, this would be, well, it may not be easier if it was all in one database, but it would have a different set of challenges. But it would be easier to manage probably in the end. So we've got the worksheet name that we need to grab onto, so that's good. Now we need to get the county's first letter and the township's first 3 letters and join them. So let's get that part ready. So anytime this is clicked or this is selected, we need to have that load up as well. So we can have that be visible if we want. We'll put it right here. Let's see. Double click on township, and we'll call a new procedure, and it's called get easement number And I will do that for the other one as well. If the county is selected, get easement number. Alright, so that's a two-part project there. We need to, let's see, so whenever this is, whenever we, so the easement number is going to be dependent on which worksheet that we look to before it starts looping through these and searching for the latest numbers so that we can increment it by 1. But anyway, let's do our best anyway. Let's go ahead and find that. We need to make a new one called get easement number. Control C to copy. Let's just type it right here. Sub get easement number. And again, I'm gonna cheat and copy a little bit of the looping from the last one. No, I won't. Oh, I thought I was, but let's see here. So the first letter of the county. So okay, current county equals me dot CMB county, and current TN equals me dot CMB township. And so me dot LBL sequence name equals the left of current county comma 1, so the first letter to the left of that. Join that with an ampersand to, and we need the next 3 letters, so the leftmost 3 letters of CURTN, comma 3, because we need 3 letters. And then we need to then find the next one in the sequence, really. So, but let's just see what we've got there with the get easement number jive without the numbers part. So let's select here. Let's say we got Adams, hit F5, and Holmes, hit F5. Alright, oh, I guess that's invisible, isn't it? Let's make this one visible. Double click, true, hit hit F5. Alright, so let's select Guernsey. I'm going to take that thing away. Let's see. F5. And Wheeling. Worksheet name is Guernsey-Wheeling. Wonderful. But I am going to take that away also. So G-W-H-E. I see right now he wants it in capitals, so let's do that. Let's see here. Get easement number. Here it is. We need to do the U case, I think it is. Yeah, U case, which means uppercase, and the U case of whatever this brings, so that everything is in capitals. Alright, now that we got that, let's do Coshocton and Bethlehem. So it would be C-B-E-T. What if I did Coshocton Franklin? What if I hit the down arrow? Yeah, let me hit the down arrow here. And township is H mechanic. Guernsey, Coshocton. So anyway, so that's working. I just like to play around with that. Seems like it's working. Cool. Alright, so then we need to get the sequence number, and that may be the trickiest part, but it's not the end of the world. So let's make a few fake ones. T-D-O-V. Oops. S. Let's see. T-S-A-L. That's Tuscarawas, Salem. 0001. T-S-A-L. 0002. How about T-S-A-L 0005? And we want to loop through this stuff here. And we want to get the next one. Even though we're missing 3 and 4, we don't care. We want the next one to be TSAL 0006. And we want to plant that right there on the, you know, ideally there won't be any blank spots like this. That's not right. But for the sake of getting the next number, that's what we're going to find. So we need to loop through these and take only the last 4 digits into account so that we can actually consider them a number, and then play around with that and then find the greatest number of all those. So let's do that. Gotta get the selected worksheet. So we're gonna get the worksheet from right here. In fact, I'm gonna make that visible again for now. So whenever this is whenever one of these is selected, they're going to find the worksheet name first, and then they're going to go and find the next number on that worksheet. So we have to go to that worksheet. We have to go to the worksheet that is represented by the label WKS name. So let's go there now. Let's see with our where's it at? Get easement number. Okay, so the process is actually going to load a worksheet. Let's go ahead and dim WS as worksheet, and we're not ready to set it yet, or are we? Okay, set WS equals this workbook.sheets, and instead of using quotes, because we're not typing in the actual name of this, we're using a variable, which is, or actually we could use me.lbl WKS name, and since that is by default a text string, it doesn't need quotes. Okay, so whatever is in that label, that's the sheet that we're setting this WS to be. Okay, we're going to start our loop. So WLR, we need to get the last row on column F on each of the worksheets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we need to say equals WS dot cells rows dot count using rows or column 6 dot end XL up dot row. There's your last row. And we'll do a simple loop for X equals 2 to WLR. Next X, and you have your loop ready. So we're going to say we need to get the leftmost 4 digits. Let's scooch this down a little bit so we can take a look. The leftmost 4 digits. So let's see. We'll give it a variable name here. We'll call it my num equals WS dot cells, and we'll use row X comma 6, but we're going to use the right function. We want to get the rightmost 4 digits or characters. So let's go ahead and stop right there, put a stopper, and I'm going to hit F5. Let's use the county. Whoops. We need to do a stop. We need to stop this. Again, if me dot CMB county equals blank, or me dot CMB township equals blank, then exit sub. Let's go back up a line and analyze that, Oh, we need to exit the sub. We're not ready for that yet. Hit F5. Okay, now when we fill in a township and we have Wheeling, it should work. Let's see. Guernsey-Wheeling. Would it be Wheeling-Guernsey? Because I changed the county and the other thing around. I think I screwed it up. Alright. Goodness. Let's go to the data sheet. Alright, we're going to actually make this equals Adams and hyphen and Coshocton, not Coshocton hyphen Adams. Copy that down, Control C, right click SV to paste special and values. And now we have the values, and we're actually good to go. That didn't take long, did it? No. Okay. So hit F5. Let's try this again. Currency, wheeling. Now what? Is there... Seriously? Wheeling Guernsey. Okay, so is there not a sheet called Wheeling Guernsey? Now I have to investigate this. Wheeling Guernsey. WHEELING hyphen GURNSEY. No spaces. No spaces here. That's freaking weird. Try it again. We'll debug it. Okay. So sometimes they want it to be... Okay, I'm pretty sure this will work. Oddly enough, joining basically a blank, a nothing to that should work. Hit F8. Yeah, okay, so it worked. It's ridiculous, but sometimes you have to solidify the fact that this is a text string. So you join that with a text, you know, even if it's nothing. That's another trick, but you know, put that in your hat. Bag of tricks. Anyway, we can finally move on. So WLR is that current worksheet's last row, which happens to be row 1. We need to hit that up. Franklin Coshocton. Well, I can't even look right now. Alright, now that we got that code fixed, we need to go to the Wheeling Guernsey, because that's where we're at. Okay, no. Okay, I figured out we need to go to the Salem Tuscarawas. That's the one that should land on row 7 as the one that we're going to go until with our loop. So hit Alt F11. Let's run this again. That would be Tuscarawas and Salem. Okay, so here we go. So we got the last row is 7, and for x equals 2 until 7, so the W to LR. Okay, my number is going to start with row 2. It's going to say we want the rightmost 4 characters of this cell here. So that would be 0001. How about we do +0? Ooh. So if I run that over again, instead of with quotes, it would actually call it 1, an actual value. We can add the leading zeros as needed. And I'll show you how to do that. But what we want to do is compare that the next time. So let's save what we got here. So we're going to go to the next one. How about if my num equals blank, then fill it up with that stuff. Okay, and so that way it won't rewrite it each loop. Only if the current one is greater than the current number. So if my, now this is for next time, if my so if that current thing, if that, put that in quotes here, not in quotes, in the parentheses, if that jumbly mess right there is greater than my num, which is basically the last one that we captured, then, you guessed it, you write over the current saved number. But if it's not, then guess what? Then the last one that you saved is still bigger, perhaps. So let's hit F8. So my number is not blank, so we're not necessarily writing over it, but we're going to compare it now. So if this number here is greater than my number, and now of course there's an error. Let me see here. It could be because it's blank. It might be a blank cell. It is. It is a blank cell. Fine. Alright. Because I can't add 0 to a blank text string. So, fine. Let's do this. If that cell is blank, then we'll do nothing. Equals blank, then do nothing. Else if, so okay. Oh, right, else if. Alright, so here we go. So if it's blank, then do nothing and skip it, which it was blank. Now, how about column 3? Is it blank? No, it isn't. So now we can compare the number that's the rightmost 4 digits plus 0 to, so it would be comparing the number 2 to the number 1, which we saved in that variable. Is it greater than that? Then yes, it is. Then my num is now going to be 2. And let's go a little further. That's a blank row, probably. Blank row. And here we are on row 7. And that's the number 5. Is it greater than my num? It sure is. So now my num is going to become the number 5. So whenever you're done with your loop, you're at the end of all your x's or whatever, then I'm just going to hit F5. Okay, to go to the stopper. So my num is 5. So now what do? You say new num equals my num plus 1. That's the new number. That's the next one that we need. So we'll put that in a thing called new num. Okay. Let's see. And now we're going to say we're still getting the easement number, so we need to get the sequence named like we did earlier. But now we've gone through quite a bit of trouble to get the number that you need to go with that follows that sequence. So we could say the sequence name is the leftmost first digit of this, that's capitalized, and the capitalized leftmost 3 digits of the township. Join that with an ampersand and new num. And there you have it. So the current county is Tuscarawas, current whatever is that, and the sequence number is tsal. Oh, where's my dang number here? Oh, we never did that part. We skipped over it. Whoops. New num equals my num plus 1, so it's going to be 6. That's going to be the next one. And we don't want the number 6, we want 0006 or 0022 if it was 22. So we're going to say format that number, comma, here's the format we want, 000 number sign or pound sign, end quote, in parentheses. And I think that's going to put as many leading zeros as you need to make it a 4-digit number. That being said, hit F8. There's your Tuscarawas, there's your Salem, and now this should be tsal 0006, and sure enough, it is. Hot diggity. So let's run through that a little bit. That's pretty cool. Let's go to the Dover sheet. Hit F5. Goshen. So tgos tdov 0001. tghost 0001, tjeff 0001, tsal 0006. Wow, so that's actually working. Pretty crazy, right? Holmes, Clark 01, Killbook, Mechanic go. Alright, so that's working. I'm pretty proud of that. That's pretty cool. Then whenever you're submitting the easement, that's actually the really easy part. You just set this worksheet right here like we did earlier, and then you just take the landowner name and pop it in the current row that you need to. Date signed will be the next column. Total acres will be the next column. County will be here. Township will be here. You take the label, you would take that cell of that row, and then the sixth column, and that would be equal to the LBL dot whatever we call that sequence number or easement number, whatever we call this label. And then there you have it. That would be the sequence number right there. And then the document link, I don't know what he was going to do with that. But guys, I'm sure you're done listening to me chat. If you guys want to know any more about how to actually submit that, we can go over that. I'll save this workbook and all that. But that's pretty much it. I also don't know what he wanted to do with the date entered. Maybe put that in a hidden column, or I don't know if he wanted to do anything with that. But anyway, also a recommendation for you, sir. I would make it before that, like right when this button is clicked, I would make it so that it requires, if TB landowner name, if this text box is blank, or if this one's blank, or if this one's blank, or this comma box is blank, or this is blank, then exit sub, or do a message box that says, this is blank, and then exit the sub so it doesn't submit it yet. It would force them to stay on this form until they finish the job. That's my recommendation. You don't have to do that. Also, another recommendation, whenever you're using the date signed or any kind of date in a text box, it will plant them in the worksheet by default as text. So what you want to do to overcome that is probably use cdate. I also have a video YouTube lesson on using the function cdate, and you'll want to check out using cdate in a text box. There's a video on that too. Thank you for watching, everybody, and hope you have a wonderful day or night or whatever. Thanks.